everyone, welcome to the first episode of Bagurgle and Friends. Beautiful show we're going to have for you today. Today I am joined by two awesome guys. To start with, we have Ronan. Welcome, Ronan.
Yo.
Also, we have Jeremy.
Hello, everybody.
How are you, Jeremy?
I'm doing well, Jacob. Thank you very much. Also, you can call me Closest Junk or Jeremy. Doesn't matter.
I'm going to call you Jeremy. Or Steve. I haven't decided which yet.
Call you Junk.
Or Jamal.
Junk is going to fit in perfect later on in the show. Alright. So, Ronan, tell us, give the listeners a little sneak peek into your life. What makes you Ronan?
Well, hey everybody. I'm Ronan, the Martial Gamer. I'm kind of into competitive games a little bit. I haven't really done anything professionally. No tournaments or anything like that quite yet online. However, I do train every day at different games such as MOBAs, FPS, RTS, all kinds of different stuff. I started gaming when I was around 3 years old. My parents introduced me to it, and I haven't put down my mouse and keyboard since.
Awesome. And what would you say your favorite types of games are?
I actually don't really have a favorite. Right now, I've been playing Heroes of the Storm, a new MOBA out by Blizzard. That's been my number one game lately, but before it's been FPS games, RPGs, single-player story games like Mass Effect, which you'd call a third-person tactical shooter. Well, not really tactical, but over the shoulder. Anything, really. Jack of all trades.
Awesome. Jeremy, what about you? Tell us about you.
Well, I'm Jeremy. I'm 24. Like long walks on the beach. My favorite snack is bread. By day, I'm a hoagie artisan. Hoagie is also known for a sandwich. And by night, I play a lot of video games. A lot of Steam games. I have way too many Steam games.
Awesome.
Most of my video game background goes back to Sega Genesis and Nintendo 64, from what I remember. But now, I only like Steam games.
Awesome. What would you say your favorite genre of games are?
Favorite genre game would probably have to be hack and slash.
Hack and slash. So Devil May Cry kind of stuff?
Love it.
Nice.
We're in the subject. Actually, what's your favorite Devil May Cry game?
I played the new one with the new revamped Dante. I really liked it. I seem to be the only one who liked it.
I can agree with you there, man. The gameplay was amazing. The storyline may have been a little bit touchy, for some of the older Devil May Cry fans, but the gameplay was solid.
Yeah, there's some gross whoring going on. Human whore.
Nice. I'd have to take you guys' word for it. I haven't played Devil May Cry since, I think, 1 or 2. I just...
Dante had white hair and pizza.
Right? Oh, man. Alright, well, that's those guys. I'm Bagurgle. I'm a college student and a streamer. I have been playing games my whole life. First system I got was... Actually, I don't remember if it was the old gray brick Game Boy or the Super Nintendo system, the old SNES. One of those two. I was little. First game I ever actually fully played through was Super Mario World. Love that game. I still play it. Oh, that was a great game. And then from there, I've played every console that has come out since that time. I even played some of the older ones, Ataris. I've played the original Nintendo Entertainment System. I haven't played on the new PS4s or Xbox Ones, but I'm working on that. Keeping my perfect record intact here. I love all games. Strategy games, racing games, you name it, I've played it. Most of my high school life was devoted to MMOs. I was a WoW kid.
Warcraft.
Oh, God. I don't know how much of my life I devoted to that, but it is sickening. And
high school, then. Definitely good calling that.
Oh, yeah. But
Sucked a fucking large portion of their life into that.
I don't know, a sane person, but there's none of those, no one I know who's sane, at least. My favorite genres, I would have to say, is the RPG. I love a story. I love games that really compel, draw you in, you get attached. I think that goes back to when I used to love reading. When I was, little, when I wasn't playing games, I was reading books. I used to love the stories. I always hated finishing a book and then wondering, well, what did they do after that? What happens? And the same thing, with those. I love good story RPGs. And, that segues into the first topic today, and that is going to be the Final Fantasy series. My absolute favorite series of any game. This is just...
If you haven't heard of it or grown up with at least a number, you're crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you are... you're not from this planet, and you're definitely not a gamer. This series dates back to 1987. That's when the Final Fantasy 1 was released in Japan. It's been developed by Square, later known as Square Enix. The whole time, it's never had anybody else develop it. It is a huge series. It has been released on every genre, not just the RPG. You name it, it's been a tactical RPG, action RPG, an MMO. It has a racing thing. It has a third-person shooter. It has a fighting game that's...
It's got spin-off movies, action figures, cosplayers.
Yeah, it even has a friggin' rhythm game, a rhythm-based game for it. This is just huge. I think I speak for you guys when this was a huge part of anyone in our generation's childhood.
Not just that. You also got all the music, the scores.
Oh, so much.
Nobuo Uematsu knows his shit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He does. He's a... God. So, what about you guys? I'd be hard-pressed. I have to actually sit here and think about my favorite Final Fantasy game and moment. But what about you, Ron? What about you? Do you have a favorite moment, a favorite game, anything?
Favorite moment definitely is when Cloud finds himself and realizes, that he was the one who took down Sephiroth. I was 6 years old when 7 first came out, and that was probably one of the first story games that I really, paid attention to and played through myself as a young child. And just going back and playing it again, recently as an adult, you can tell there's a lot of adult themes in it that you don't really see that as much these days in the newer Final Fantasy games.
Oh yeah, I just finished that that game on stream today. Actually, I finished it up, and there's a lot of nature versus industrialization, that kind of theme in there. That is really, I don't know. I guess you could say it applies today. You got the whole should we save the planet kind of thing going on in real life. What about you there, Jeremy? What about you? Favorite game, favorite moment?
I liked how they introduced the whole concept of blitzball. I remember playing in Final Fantasy X, I believe it was.
Yeah.
It was just you could play the whole sport as like a mini game, and then you had your companion. I forgot what his name was, but essentially taking that and using it as a weapon.
Waka?
Captain America. Yes.
Waka, yeah. Yeah, that tin.
You see this giant globe of just water.
Right?
I'm calling it now. As technology advances, we're going to be able to play that game for fucking real in real life soon here.
Oh, that would be awesome. I would sign up. I wouldn't be any good at it, but I'd sign up for that. 10's my favorite game. I'd have to say, I just love 10. 10. I played 7. I played 8. I played 9, and I don't know if it was just I was really young then. I'm a couple years older than you, Ronan, and so I was 8, 9 when 7 came out. But it was just, I don't know, 10. 10 really captivated me. I went as far to as on my, my third, fourth playthrough, actually got every character to go through every point on the sphere grid. And the sphere grid, I love the sphere grid. I thought that was my favorite leveling system.
Greatest idea for a Final Fantasy game. They need to bring something like that back.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And then 10 also has my favorite moment, when you got Titus and you had Yuna, and they finally let their feelings go, and they're in the water, and then that song, Sukde, I can't remember, it's in Japanese, but that song comes on, and they're floating underwater without breath somehow. I don't know. That scene. Oh, I had to watch that scene for days.
Something out of a romantic LSD trip.
Right. You can't go wrong there. Oh, man.
It doesn't have Eyes on Me accompanying it.
They just have that one just fat chocobo off in the distance just staring.
Oh, God. That'd
looking
be
at you.
chocobos. God, I hate chocobos, by the way. I think they're adorable, but every time there's chocobos in the game, which is every Final Fantasy, there's a chocobo involved mini game or a chocobo quest, and they're always hard and they're always annoying as fuck.
What are you talking about? They're a light, fast mount. They don't defecate. Hell, you feed it lettuce. Hell, take it off my hamburger.
Okay, well, you know what? If they were just that, I would be okay. But I mean, you got 10. You had in order to get Titus's weapon, you had to run around dodging those stupid little birds and getting the balloons to get your time under 0 seconds. That
Shut up right now, dude. You're gonna trigger my post-traumatic stress disorder here.
all right. In 7, you had the breeding of the chocobos and the chocobo racing. I mean, you try to get that golden chocobo just to go get the Knights of the Round materia. Oh, fuck.
Dude,
8.
that summon itself was a nightmare. It took like 3 minutes to get through.
Right?
Don't ever mimic that thing back to back. Oh my god.
Oh, God, no. And then you had, in 8, you had that stupid chocobo search thing in the forest where you had to, run around trying to find the exact spot, and if you didn't, somebody came down and stole your crap, the little device, and you had to go pay the little boy again. Oh, God, chocobos. Not fun. So, I mean, Ronan, what Final Fantasies have you played? I mean, give me the numbers here. What have you?
Well, do you just want like standard number games, or do you want things like Dissidia and Dirge of Cerberus? Because I played quite a few of the Final Fantasy games.
Never played Dirge.
I wouldn't. I mean, it's alright. It's good for what it is, but what it is isn't something great.
It's a thing. Just it.
Let's just stick with...
Yeah, to answer the main questions, 7, 8, 10, and 11.
11?
Are the main games that I played. I have dabbled with 6. I've seen a little bit of 9 in action. I've watched a few videos of 12 and 13. Wasn't too impressed.
Well, a lot of people who are fans consider 12 an abomination, and it's kind of like the 4th Indiana Jones movie. It just never happened. When you ask someone who really cares, they're like, no, what? 12? What? I don't know about 12. There was never 12. It just skipped 11.
See, then I'm glad I was spared the pain of actually having to play it then.
Yeah, I would. I tried. I've played 7, 8, 9, 10. Sold my soul on 11, trying to grind that out. I played 10-2, which a lot of people dislike, but I personally enjoy.
My expertise lies in the MMOs. I played the shit out of the most recent one, Realm Reborn, and also played a little bit of the Final Fantasy. It was 11 online.
Yeah,
and that was brutal.
Oh yeah, you can't do anything solo in that game. There is no solo in that game.
You can't even die solo. It's
No.
terrible.
No.
I had one once. It was terrible.
Yeah, 13. I played 13. I haven't gotten around to 13-2, but I'm going to be streaming those here in the coming months, so that's going to be fun.
Double numbers.
Right. We got, man, so, let's move this along here. Typo is coming out 10 days, I believe. I believe it's March 7th, so it's coming out the 17th. This game was originally released on the PSP in 2011. It's, what are your guys' feelings? Since it's a re-release of a game that was on a PSP, what are your expectations for this game?
Well, I never really got around to playing it because I never really ended up using my PSP too much. None of the games, I was really never really interested in it, to be honest with you, so I don't know too much about it.
Yeah, I'm actually going to second that. I had a PSP once, and I lost it. Never got another one.
Sounds like the story of every PSP. I had one, but I never used it, or I threw it at a burglar or something.
Yeah,
I
bought
don't
a
know.
movie for that once and immediately regretted it and then downloaded it.
Exactly. What I know about the game is that it uses a real-time action-based battle system that's similar to Crisis Core. If you guys have played that, yeah. So it's going to have that.
That was the one game on my PSP that I actually played, so that's already a good sign.
Yeah, and from what I can tell, this is something that it's been called for by a lot of people who played it, they've demanded that this game actually be brought over from the PSP. It's gonna keep true to the storyline, and I don't think like they're going to change much about it. As you guys know, that it does fall into the Fabula Nova Crystallis thing, which contains Typo. It contains 13, 1, 2, and Lightning Returns. It also contains a Jito. So which
Magic Dakota ring.
So yeah, it's that kind of universe. 15, yeah, like I said, is going to be in there.
See,
But
I'm watching a video right now of this combat that's the thing to closest to Crisis Core, and that kind of looked like what I saw for the Final Fantasy 15 coming out.
oh yeah,
Where there's kind of free roaming action combat, and there's some sort of targeting.
yeah, it definitely. I'm excited for Typo, but seeing how it's a re-release, I'm not, like
Too keen on putting more money for it. We already have it.
yeah, not like fangirling over it, But 15, that game. I mean, I remember when they started development on 15, and originally 15 was going to be 13. And that was it, and then this started development in 2006, is when this game. It has been what people have called, or not called, but, people have thrown their faith into this game, hoping that it's going to be the next 7 or the next 9 or 10. I mean, because in a lot of people's viewpoint, since 10, the series has kind of gone astray. They're solid games, but they don't live up to that legendary background that, was that core of 7, 9, 10. So, I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, what have you heard? What are your expectations for 15?
Well, I gotta say, I really like the free roaming of the game. It looks kind of like I don't know, Grand Theft Final Fantasy almost, where you can kind of do what you want to at sometimes. I'm hoping the graphics are great. I'm hoping that the game actually has a very well-written storyline this time around that actually draws you in and makes you care about the characters instead of just rehashing old themes and old, styles, so to speak. I hope the game is able to be unique on its own without really having to pander too much, if you catch my drift.
I hope so too. I hope it's a game that can stand on its own and really put the Final Fantasy back into the spotlight. I mean, we've had games lately like Skyrim, the newest Dragon Age, that kind of taken over the RPG genre as the figureheads, and you got this younger generation of people who don't know Final Fantasy, don't have that huge love for it, and I hope that this game can do that. I mean, Jeremy, what about you? What do you think? What are your thoughts on this on 15?
Well, right now I'm actually watching a YouTube video as you speak with the fighting going on. They're actually fighting right now at night. I think it's really awesome. Apparently it's got day and night cycles, so it kind of makes me think that it's not actually instance. It is fully open world, and there's not random battles, which would be a great direction to take the game in, I think. But in terms of complexity, the game seems very simple. I don't know how engaging it'll be throughout the whole entire game.
Well, I mean, I know the combat system that it's going to use is called the Action Cross battle system, which is kind of a more modernized version of the Kingdom Hearts and Typo. So I mean, it's going to be that. So I'm hoping that it brings something to the Final Fantasy. I guess the fighting thing really brings it in, because I mean, if you look at, I think that's what a lot of the younger people dislike, is the old style Final Fantasy, turn-based kind of fight, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they bring that up. I don't think you can keep...
Do I think it'd be a great idea? I think they should do a Final Fantasy, I guess, if they want to do some kind of remake, they'd update the graphics, but still keep those awkward camera angles. Just to give you some nostalgia.
Oh my god. Yeah, where you're like in 7 where you're just kind of running around the world, and all of a sudden the camera just doesn't turn with you, so you're running into like a mountain, and you're like, what the hell? Turn.
Yeah, I've gotten lost plenty of times.
Oh, God. I mean, 15, I really think is gonna have to be the hope of the future for Final Fantasy. If it doesn't do well, if it doesn't live up to the expectations, I mean, it's going to be like a 9-year in development game. If it doesn't really blow up and be this new, awesome, legendary Final Fantasy game that everyone's hoping, I don't know if the series could recover from that, to be honest. I really don't. It's going to be one of those things where, you know, it's in its past its prime, you know, take it out back, shoot it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Ronan? What do you think about that?
Well, I for one do hope it is really successful, only because Square has kind of dangled a carrot in front of our faces here, saying that if they're able to make a game that lives up to Final Fantasy VII or 10 and do just as well as it did back then they're going to think about remaking 7 and possibly 8 and maybe even 9 eventually. That being said, I really do think that the only thing that can really save the Final Fantasy series is going back, remaking some of those, revisiting them, or making more spin-offs of those. Or instead of making new characters and new stories and new shit to keep up with, you know, they need to just go back and reflesh out the universes they already have and maybe do something to Cydia, like, you know, trying to combine them in some weird, different way.
I can agree with that. I was actually reading an article earlier this week where can't remember his name right now, unfortunately, but one of the creators of Final Fantasies, he said that 7 will not be remade. He would simply love to remake it, because it was started because 7 is actually coming to the PS4 this year, but it's not, you know, being remastered or anything like 10 was. It's just, you know, they're throwing the old game on there so everyone can play it. But he said that they wouldn't be able to do 7 because the time that it would take to remake and redevelop 7 would actually be greater than the time that it took them to make 15. And it actually would cost, I can't remember the multiplier, but it would be greatly exceed the budget of 15. That being said, I disagree that it would be that big of a burden for them. I'm not arguing with the time and the money that they said. I believe it would take that long, but I think it would make money. I think I would freaking pre-order. I'd be there beating people in the head, Walking Dead zombie status, you know, clubbing them to get that game the day it would be released.
Well, if I could chime in really quick here, I think the reason that that statement was made was because he or they believe that everybody would be expecting Advent Children level graphics for Final Fantasy VII, since they kind of set that precedent with the PS4 tech demo and, you know, of course, Advent Children itself. So if they were going to base the game on those kind of graphics and that level of detail, definitely it would take a very long time.
Yeah, I didn't read into all the details on it, on how and why it would take so long. And I don't even remember if the article actually said it. That's what stuck to me, that article, and made me go, aww. But
by the time it came out, I'd be well into EverQuest Next.
Oh god, that is a whole nother show, sir. And yeah, that game is another game that better live up to its damn expectations.
No, my expectations for Final Fantasy is that they hit 20. They're going for it. They better hit it.
I mean, if they keep up these huge development times, they might hit 20 by the time I'm 50, maybe.
I've died, just amazed.
I die this, hopefully after I finish 20 there. Alright. Well, I know today, Ronan, you brought us something to talk about. You got these 3 cheap, awesome Steam games that I'm not familiar with, but you are. So, I mean, what do you got for us?
Well, I figured we'd kind of throw a curveball here and maybe just give them a little bit of a heads up on some good games that they could find for cheap on Steam. Hors d'oeuvres, yeah. They could find really cheaply on Steam. These are all couch co-op games. These are all games that you can play either online with friends or, with buddies at your house if you're entertaining some guests someday. It's going to be a list here. I got my top 3 couch co-op games. Starting in at number 3, I'm going to start at the bottom. Castle Crashers. I mean, who hasn't heard of this? This is an amazing game.
Yes!
Load up with a few friends and scroll from left to right, chopping down bad guys and casting spells. Maybe trying to do some combos with your buddies,
Yeah, you gotta save that princess.
You gotta save all 4 of them.
Yeah. Got work to do.
What is the price on that? How much would that little game cost? I know it's not the most complex game. It's the graphics are silly, to say the least.
At the moment on Steam, I've got it clocked in at $15. It's pretty cheap. That's relatively good for a good game that's going to give you around 10 hours with some buddies from A to B, from start to finish. If you're not doing side quests and stuff.
There's definitely replay value in this game. Absolutely.
Lots of replay, lots of things to unlock, lots of things to collect, tons of characters to level up, different builds to try.
Great humor.
Good humor, lots of humor. A very, very cartoony kind of game. Definitely doesn't take itself seriously.
What would you say that it's something that you could get enjoyment playing, solo, or is it something like Mario Party where it's just kind of depressing and makes you wonder where your friends are?
Which one of my friends is a competitive asshole?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can get through, if you're a skilled enough player, it is possible to get through the game, solo. You might have to learn some of the fights ahead of time or do a little bit of grinding, but you can definitely get through it, no problem. But the game is definitely made for group play, however.
All right, well, I'm sure people out there will give that a look.
It's kind of an old game. That one goes back years, so I'm sure anybody listening to this has probably already played it. But if you haven't, go ahead and check that out. Coming in at number 2, this is going to be a really weird game. It's a little floppy, if you catch my drift. Mount Your Friends. Yeah, this is exactly what it sounds like. You're mounting your friends. What it is that you're a bunch of dudes, and you're bare-chested dudes and tight
good old-fashioned sausage fest.
Just trying to climb each other. It's kind of like you guys have probably played QWOP, which is that weird running game where you kind of control the guy's legs, limbs with QWOP.
That can never be beaten.
It's sort of like that, where you control every individual limb of your climber, and you try to just get to the top. Basically, you just start making a tower of dudes. As gay as that sounds, it's actually a really fun game. You just try to climb up, try to stick to people.
With the allotted time you have?
Yeah, it gives you about 30 seconds to a minute to just try to see how high you can get.
From the looks of it, there's definitely one limb you can't control in this game.
Nipples.
There are nipples. I'm not talking about nipples, though. I'm talking about the junk just flopping around everywhere. I mean, I'm watching a little video in here, and there's a cat man in a pink banana hammock, and his junk is just waving in the wind. Just waving in the wind.
I lied when I said the Speedos were pretty tight. They're not that tight.
Oh,
banana
God.
hammock.
That is a banana hammock. This is a game of banana hammocks. What does this game cost on Steam?
Eat spin?
Go ahead.
Nothing.
Oh, okay. I believe the game is $10 at the moment.
$10? That's not bad. And is it, same question, is it definitely something that you're going to want to play with friends, or, can you get enjoyment out of it? I mean, I guess if you enjoy flopping dongs everywhere, you could get enjoyment out of it solo, but...
I'm sorry, actually the price just went down. It's $5 on Steam, $15 for a 4-pack. And solo, yeah, it's okay to get just, practice solo, see how high you can get, but most of the laughs are definitely going to be had with friends. And
with
trying to compete with them. Lots of drinks, yeah, definitely with a lot of drinks.
I can see that. I have to ask you, what's with the goat?
The goat is what you climb on.
But why a goat? What did this goat ever do to, deserve a tower of flopping mandong on him?
Maybe that's how the goat swings.
I mean, I am not judging, but I mean that.
The goat has definitely won the trophy for not giving any leaps. Wait, can we cuss?
Oh, it's totally stoic, dude. It just sits there and takes it, whatever you want to do, man.
No fucks given, man. That goat is just...
No, yeah, they offer the trophy for no fucks. No fucks. But he did not want it. He was not giving any fucks.
Right there. All right, and number 1, I'm curious now, what can top this game? What What's better?
Wait, can I have a guess?
You go ahead.
Go for it.
Goat Simulator.
That's not exactly a couch co-op game, but okay.
That game, I don't. Oh God, that game. I have nightmares about that game. That goat's tongue.
Ragdoll nightmares.
Oh God. Okay. Oh,
Kids, don't drink apple juice before you go to bed.
I would guess, but I mean, I heard the list before, and so I'm not even going to bother. Just come out with it.
On top, we got Magica. Now, this game is an extremely interesting little adventure. At the moment, it is $10 on Steam. And what it is you and a group of 3 of your friends are wizards. And there's 8 different elements that you can control and combine. And you can combine up to 5 of them at a time to cast wildly different spells. So you've got your basic heal spells, you can cast some shields on yourself, fireballs, you've got ice, you've got water.
It's Path of Exile for your spells.
Sort of, yeah. But there's, all the combinations happen in the game. There's no, leveling up or anything like that. You start the game as powerful as, you are at the end. You just pick up different spell books that kind of, tell you how to do different things. There's, your standard spells, you mix and match just to see what you get. Sometimes you get beams, sometimes you get, fireballs, ice balls, water balls.
Interesting.
So what the fun of it is picking up these different spell books that you find along the way and getting all these different cool effects, casting haste on yourself. You can teleport across the screen. You can give yourself some freaking cool, rock armor to take more damage. The whole idea is that you're just a group of wizards going on a little adventure from A to B. You just go through chapters, kill some enemies, kill a boss, kill some enemies, kill a boss. Nothing too in deep, not a whole lot of story, but...
So it does have a little bit of story. I mean, it's not just like Mount Your Friends where you're just, you load it up and you mount your friends. I mean, it does have a little bit of a progression.
Fantastic.
Yeah, there's, if you want to call it a story, fine. It's just kind of like a plot device just to give you a reason for your spell casting. It's nothing deep. But there's a little bit of a story there.
How long would you say it takes you to get through the game and, replay value and all that?
Taco and I mean, the thing is we just kind of screw around the whole time. Because friendly fire is enabled. You can screw with your friends as much as you want.
Well,
you can push them off cliffs, you can freeze them really quick, you can buff your enemies if you want them to kill your friends, whatever you want to do. It doesn't ask you any questions.
You had me at screw my friends. I mean...
Yeah, you can totally screw people over. Whatever you feel like doing. Push them into a crowd of enemies, push them into bombers, But,
wow, that's something...
Taco and I have been playing it for the last, month and a half, 2 months, a couple hours almost every night, and we're only on chapter 12. We're almost at the end of the game, but not quite done yet. So there's a lot of content there if you're fucking around.
Nice. And I forgot to ask you, but Castle Crashers, I've heard of it, I've played a little, but I didn't, get super into it. How long would you say to get through that one?
If you're with a group of good friends who know what they're doing, probably 5 or 6 hours.
Okay, so
maybe less.
But the point of all these games, obviously isn't to beat them or, do that. It's just to these are good games to have fun with your friends, right?
Oh yeah, no, these are friendly experiences. Nobody's gonna get pissed off at each other at Magica because you can instantly bring them back to life anyways with another spell cast.
Oh, well, that takes out half the fun.
Well, there's you don't have to bring them back if you're the one surviving. You can just keep running if you want to.
Alright. So, you're going to be doing this again for us next week, right? You're going to have 3 new games for us? Is this going to be something you're going to come here and do every week for me?
Yeah, no problem. I'll do a little bit of something every time. I don't know if they're always going to be lists. Maybe they won't always be 3. Sometimes they'll be 5, or maybe even 10. But we'll definitely have a good discussion here every
Final Fantasy's got to hit 20.
Yeah, there you go. Alright, so, next, we are going to be joined by one of the heads of the community I'm a part of. His name is Cheese. So let me bring him in here. User was moved to your channel. Cheese, welcome, man.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing good. So, before we get into anywhere, Cheese, before we get anything, tell them about yourself. Give them a little history of the dick cheese?
A little history of the dick cheese, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just a guy who likes to play video games. I've been playing since 8-bit Nintendo.
Oh, God.
Yeah, tell me about it. The graphics of today compared to then.
I remember when
Sorry,
those games...
I gotta close out of a game real quick here. Playing a little Counter-Strike Go right now. That's kind of my addiction right now.
Yucky. That's what I got to say to that. Yucky.
Of course you would.
All right, and so I understand you're here today. You're going to be talking about gaming communities. You've been around. Tell people, a little bit about the communities you've been a part of in the past.
Well, I was part of a gaming community named, it was called the Infectious Gamers. They sported the old XXX tag and the square brackets. I was with them for a long time. They actually originated in the Counter-Strike 1.3 days and ran all the way through Source and actually died out and fizzled before Counter-Strike Go came out. So I've seen big communities fall apart just because nobody followed games before anymore. And, today we're in a different location with, really good people.
Nice, yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask, these other guys, we got Jeremy in here and we got Ronan, they're also part of the communities. I was just going to ask them about that. I know, Jeremy, you're a part of Shock Value. Yeah, that was my old one that I used to spin a long time in. And Ronan, you just recently joined Derailed Gamers, right?
Well, I've been on and off at Derailed Gamers for the past few years. It was started by a close friend of mine.
Yes, Mr. Conman, right?
Yeah, Con. Oh hey JT.
Nice.
We're a close group, a close-knit group of gamers who all play together on the weekends mostly. We host community events every Saturday. It's usually Cards Against Humanity, Wreckfest, sometimes Not Your Friends. Just whatever everybody feels like playing that night, honestly.
Nice. Jeremy, what about Shock Value? What do you... I know what you guys do, but people listening obviously don't, because you guys are a really, really small community. So what about you guys?
Well, as I say, we're very tight-knit. We've always kept it small, obviously. Usually only average around 5 people in the guild. But we switch on from games. We've hit up Terra, Star Wars The Old Republic, which we're actually returning to from a little hiatus. We've also played a lot of other games, maybe StarCraft.
Yeah, I saw you. I know you guys played WoW for a while. I played with you guys a little bit in that.
Everyone's got a WoW story.
Oh yeah, back to that again.
Not me, thank God.
Oh, well, I'll get you there, Cheese. I'll get you there. Cheese is a little bit older than us, so he missed
Ultima.
that.
The Ultima or Star Wars
Yes.
Galaxies.
I was a shooter guy. I started playing Counter-Strike Source and just kind of never looked back. I played a lot of Team Fortress 2. I thought that game was fantastic, and then they made it free to play.
Yeah.
Boo.
Alright, so, Cheese, you were part of the bigger community, and then you've helped build what we're a part of now, Audacious Few. You've been there with us, building it up from the ground. What do you think it takes to create a solid, consistent, long-lasting gaming community?
It takes a good, solid backbone and core group of members. People who are there to game and have fun. That's what we need is camaraderie. Me and you, we sit around and we don't even game half the time, and we're just having fun, with each other's company. And that's what makes a great community.
Can I also add in on something? I also think that, with also getting new members, I think that it's really important for people to hop on a VoIP server like Vent or Mumble or TeamSpeak. Because I definitely think making like a communication that way is much more effective.
Oh, definitely.
More personal.
Oh, I definitely agree also.
Yeah, I know with Shock Value, actually, I think I'm the only one here that's been a part of all 3 of these communities at one point, but it's Shock Value.
Hey, bringing people together.
Oh, yeah, but I remember an issue with that. It was always, since it was an MMO thing, so you guys would have the guild in-game, it was always getting the people from in-game into the actual teams, the Ventrilo was what you guys use. So I mean,
Yeah,
I agree.
like a preliminary thing.
Yeah, that is tough when you're doing the MMO kind of community when you guys are focusing on that, actually getting people to be in. I mean,
Yeah, because you got people like Poop Bucket, Raccoon Eater, like Blind. And,
oh god, that guy. That was
hey, remember that guy?
I remember that guy. His name blew my mind. Like,
Yeah, like names like Fisting McKnuckles. Jesus Christ! Like the names that come up with these days.
oh yeah. So, what do you guys? I'm going to start with you, Cheese, and I'll kind of go around the circle. What do you think the benefit of being a part of a community? I mean, I know it's hard to be part of a community if you're a console gamer, but PC, that's something that's definitely there. What are the benefits of that? Why should they?
Well, I believe that the benefits of being part of a PC gaming community is just, the vast variety of games that you don't get to play on console. There's just so much. I mean, a lot of things are making a transition into console, which is a pity because you get games like the Duty franchise that just turns it into exactly what I said, Duty. Let's
Dude,
pay.
same
Let's
shit
pay.
every year
Yes, sir. And
with a different
That's why I play Counter-Strike. Okay, they keep patching the game, and we bought the one game, and until they build a new game many years down the road, we're going to continue to play the same game. And Counter-Strike communities in general seem to strive, and they live through the changes of this Black Ops, that Black Ops, or Advanced Warfare 55. Who knows where it's going to go?
Tom Clancy's name on it.
Oh, God, Tom Clancy. He's got a new game every 6 months, right?
So, I mean, what you're saying is that the community, being part of a community, just gives you, access and to these different games that you might not normally find out about without all these different people who are always looking for new games to play.
Also, don't forget, you also the resources of the internet behind whatever game you're playing. You can alt-tab, go surf the internet if you find something to help someone.
And it's not a hassle like it is on a console. I mean, all consoles have web browsers now, but that is a pain in the butt.
Oh, yeah.
Plus, you got to pay to play on their networks, fun stuff, pay for the internet. You're already paying for it. Why you got to pay twice?
What about you?
Kids, you can alt-tab and make it look like you're doing homework.
Exactly.
Ronan, what about you? What do you think the benefits of being a part of a gaming community on a PC? I mean, because you were solo for a long time. I mean, at least as long as I've known you, you've been pretty much a solo, not really tying your name to any one community. Why'd you go to DG? What's the benefits of being a part of it?
Honestly, it was just like Cheese was saying earlier. It's the camaraderie. It's finding people to play with and take it seriously and be respectful. You don't really find that in pubs. Most gamers these days, as much as I love gaming and the gaming community, most people are very disrespectful and very unserious about what they're trying to do. And when you're trying to do, more competitive things, or at least sort of take it seriously, you want to have people who just, try a little bit.
Well, also,
sorry. No, go ahead, man.
Because to continue with the camaraderie subject, I mean, it's also therapeutic in a way. Because when you get to talk to people, you socialize more. You get to talk about what you're feeling, what you're going through, even relate with people, empathize.
That's always a nice thing,
It really is. Someone to turn to if you use video games as an escape, let's say, for some people, and you have a gaming community that you can always turn to.
I agree wholeheartedly. Anything else on that, Ronan?
Yeah, having people to share tips, tricks with, to laugh about different things that happen in games, to discuss stories, or even just, share some war stories, you know what I mean? Like what you're doing out in the battlefield, people like to hear that, people like to know that. So it's just a good experience all around, and it helps you grow as a gamer, just having people with you, The gaming community is one of the best things you can do as a PC gamer, as long as you're respectful and serious about it.
I can't say it any better myself.
Also, it's better when you're guiding like a guildie on something. It's so much easier to talk as opposed to type it out.
Oh, God, I hate that. It's like, dude, just get in vent. Just get in vent.
Yeah,
just get in vent.
I have to say it all the time when I'm in a comp with these guys that I play CSGO competitively with. It's like getting team
I
speak.
can't type it right now.
I can't hit two different buttons. I got to hit one.
Best reason there is.
So,
Exactly.
these communities. I mean, we're all loyal. We all love our communities. But I mean, these things fall apart. These things do tend to disintegrate. Break up. For whatever reasons. What do you guys think? Again, we'll start with Cheese and we'll go around the circle. What are the issues and how do you maintain these? How do you prevent a community that you're attached to and in a group of guys and girls that you enjoy playing? How do you prevent that from breaking up if you're in a leadership role?
Okay, well, I say you don't let the complete and utter power be controlled by any one individual. One individual can destroy a community and leave it in shambles, and it may not rebound. With Infectious, the Triple X gamers that I gamed with before, that's what happened with them. The original leader honestly stole a bunch of stuff and took the money, shut the servers down, left us high and dry. We tried to rebound, but then the leadership wasn't there in the proper format, so it fell apart.
That's always sucks. I mean, and how long were you gaming with those guys?
I gamed with them for 6 years. I was like one of the third highest ranking members of the community, and I ran the forums.
See, and
So-
that's... Oh, I'm sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, so I've seen all of what went on with, people that were being banned unjustly by members, other things that can lead to a falling apart with that. As long as you've got democracy and, in fact, you can strive and live through it. This community, and me and you are part of now, Bagurgle. We've had our ups, we've had our downs. We've been in different locations, and we've branched out, and we seem to be doing pretty well by ourselves, sticking with our guns.
Definitely, and it's hard when you've gamed. I mean, I know some people who aren't gamers who don't understand what it is, but these people, even though you've never met some of them, I mean, in real life, they become your friends. You can go really close to these people, and when these communities split, it's hard. I mean, there's people, and I mean, like, I miss playing with Jeremy and Rob, who was the leader of Shock Value. I miss playing with those guys every day, but it was just, I had to move on, and it's hard when those things don't work out.
We play LOL sometimes.
Oh yeah, I know.
Here's in the storm.
So I mean, what about you, Cameron? I don't know if you've been Ronan. Sorry, his name's not Cameron. Everybody, that was a lie.
Either way.
Anyway, so I don't know if you've been in a leadership, but I mean, what do you think are the issues and struggles for maintaining these? How do you suggest that people who might be listening, who might be part of me, how would they keep it together?
You just got to make sure there's not too much ego involved with the leadership compared to the basic members. You got to make sure that there's no well, clubs are a good thing. You don't want to section anybody off and make them feel left out, and that's going to be the main problem of why people end up splitting up inside of these communities. People want to be in power, they want to feel like they're respected, and if they don't feel that they're getting that, they're going to want to try to take it elsewhere.
So just make sure everyone's heard.
Yeah, everybody's got to be heard. It's got to be, Junk just typed in the chat here, it's got to be a democracy. Obviously, there's got to be some organization, there's got to be a council to make sure everything's going on path, making sure that everything is being administrated, properly. But at the same time, you can't be like, oh, I'm better than you just because I'm in a leadership position. We're going to do and play what I say just because. There absolutely has to be none of that at all within the community. Everybody's got to be on equal footing. There's got to be equality and respect throughout the entire membership.
I agree. And from the smaller role, I mean, the DG and Audacious View, they're, mid-sized communities. They're not in the hundreds of members, but they're both mid-sized ones. Smaller communities. How do you keep them together? Jeremy, you've been a part of Shock Value for a long time now. How do you keep that together? What are the struggles there?
I'd really give it all to Vent. I mean, as we just spoke about, we have Vent as the kind of mandatory when you join the guild. How we get to know people, how we make friends. And honestly, when you make friends, then kind of just sticks together like glue. You play together more coordinated. But in terms of keeping it all together, before it falls to shambles, I would say Democracy, as I said before. I mean, with shock value, I essentially co-own it with Rob. I mean, that way, if he's out, I'm there to fill his role, vice versa.
Yeah, that one's a lot more. It's a lot easier to maintain, I would say, because you guys are smaller and you're not really looking to grow. So I mean, it's when you get people in there, it's a lot easier to be, know everybody.
Yeah.
In the bigger communities, it's harder to, know everyone on an extremely personal level.
Exactly. That's why we like to keep it very minimal.
Nice. All right. Well,
I think it's kind of like The Office, if you will.
I agree. I
Parks and Rec.
I do miss playing with you guys. I do. So we're gonna take this moment here, and we'll start with Cheese again, and just kind of make a pitch for your individual gaming communities, guys. I mean, how can people join? What do they got to do? What, just give us a spiel about it. Start with you, Cheese.
All right, well, I'm Cheese with the Audacious Few. You can see us at audaciousfew.valayer.me, and that's our website. That we have a forum there you can sign up on. You can also come in, and anybody can come into our TeamSpeak. Our IP is 199.116.113.43. Like I said, anybody can come in, check out what we got going on, see if you like any of the games we play. We're mainly into Arma 3, Counter-Strike Go, and a lot of guys are still playing around with the DayZ, which is quite broken in my opinion, but that's their choices. But we're not limited to those 3 games. We play a variety of different games, mainly on the Steam engine. We do have our WoW and League divisions also. Hope
That
to see
WoW
you guys
division.
come by.
Yeah, that WoW division's growing fast, man. There's a lot of little WoW kids in
I don't
here.
know what those kids do, man, but
Panda
I wish
Bear's
I had
making
that
the
kind of money.
comeback.
I wish I had that money. I could spend it on skins.
Let's kick it over to you, Ronan. What about DG? What do people have to do to join that? What does DG bring to the table?
Alright, well, I'm Ronan from the Derailed Gamers. You can find us at derailedgamers.net. You can find us at Twitter and Twitch at Derailed Gamers. Our main thing is just being a close-knit group of gamers who all just kind of share our individual points of views on the different games that we're playing. Sometimes we'll play different things together. Lately it's been Heroes of the Storm, mostly. There's some others that still play. Minecraft is another one of our big ones. Royal Quest, which I'm not too familiar with, but we do have a large following on it there. Mainly, though, what we mostly have are just different people playing their own single-player, multiplayer games, and just sitting in chat with each other, just discussing their own, viewpoints on gaming, their favorite games, their, accomplishments, or whatever you want to, achievements, there you go, of whatever you want to say.
Nice.
The big draw that we have is our Derailed Gamers podcast. Similar to this one, we discuss games, and we discuss our different opinions and goings-on of what, different games are out there, what's on sale, what's, hot right now. And the other big thing are our Saturday weekend events, where we get, groups of 15, 20 people playing Cards Against Humanity, Wreckfest, we've got Mount Your Friends, and just a lot of different ones like TF2. Sometimes we will make a server really quickly and just, dick around on that against each other for a while. Blade Symphony, we do that sometimes. It's kind of a smaller gathering, but that's, another one of the weekend events that we do.
Nice. All right. What about you there, Jeremy? You guys usually are game-by-game kind of community, so you guys are playing...
What's the flavor of the year, you say? Well, I'll tell you, it is Star Wars The Old Republic. We've, essentially, like I said before, we returned to it after a nice little long hiatus of other MMOs we were trying out. But right now, we're pretty set on this right now. We've kind of nestled in, playing our roots. So if anyone here, whoever's listening, find themselves playing this game, I don't remember the server I have, but I will give Jacob all the information. You can just contact me on my handle there.
I will definitely work that in. All right, so I think that's going to conclude today's episode, guys. If you want to hear more from myself, I stream every day at twitch.com/Bagurgle at 2 p.m. Pacific time. Ronan is also a streamer. I'm not quite sure. When do you stream, man?
I actually haven't been doing it lately, but I'm going to be getting back into it in this following week and month, hopefully. My main focus is going to be streaming ranked matches of Heroes of the Storm. I will be doing some single-player games off and on, and maybe some co-op different games that I play with my friend Taco. You can find me at twitch.tv/Ronin101, R0NIN101.
Nice. And then, geez, you recently started streaming as well, right? I mean, you're streaming some of these guys in the community's CSGO matches, correct?
Yes, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm kind of focusing on really pushing for the Go guys to get a little more organized, and I'm just giving it a shot, seeing how I can do. I'm at twitch.tv/audacious_few.
Awesome. All right. So that's going to be it today, guys. Thank you for listening in, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Have a great day.
That's 14 days.
That is 14 days. That's
quick.
Right? I got to come up with another show.
Fingers to come up with that.
You got toes. All right, everybody. Stay awesome.